Welcome to the Last Down Podcast, episode 24. We're back, and this time around, I'm back. I'm here. I'm here with my boy Anguiano. I'm your boy Lopez, and yeah, let's get it right into it. Good to see you again, Anguiano.
You bailed on me, but we'll keep it pushing because week 7, there was some very interesting things that happened in that whole week. Obviously, let's just jump into a Thursday night game. Lawrence played pretty well despite like that knee injury that he had, and I also want to discuss briefly how ETN just balled. He just had another 2 touchdown game, and to be honest, I didn't think he would ball like that much because the Saints were very good in keeping the running backs out of the end zone, but he has had 2 touchdowns in that game and 6 touchdowns in the last 3 games. But overall, that game was pretty interesting, and it was pretty clear that Carl was mad at his receivers, though. And speaking of his receivers, Chris Olave getting arrested was definitely something that I did not expect.
Etienne is that guy. Ever since last year, his rookie year, he's been balling, and I'm sad I didn't get him. I was hoping to get him again because the guy carried me in fantasy in the darkest times. But yeah, really balled out. And the Jaguars are really finding their identity. I think at the beginning of the year, we were kind of like, "What the fuck's going on?" But now we're like, "Okay, you know what? The Jaguars are legit. They're legit. They're kind of back to legit." And the Saints, damn, that Olave thing is just like another problem to their problem list because there's just so many things going on in New Orleans. They gotta get things fixed over there, man.
I will say though that game probably should have gone to OT, but Foster Moreau had to sadly drop that pass. And I feel like people got no chill though because people were making fun of him, and he had cancer. I don't know if you know about that, but he had cancer, and people were pretty much like making memes about it.
Yeah,
I
I
personally,
knew about that. Yeah, I knew he was diagnosed with a pretty serious cancer, and he lived through it and he survived. He went through the treatment, but he definitely doesn't deserve that. That he doesn't deserve that criticism. Just one
yeah.
bad. It's unlucky. Things happen. I think it shouldn't dictate who he is as a person, and it shouldn't dictate like him as a player.
And I mean, overall though, this game was pretty interesting though. I thought it was at first gonna be boring, but like you said, the Jaguars are starting to find themselves, and New Orleans, yeah, they got to get stuff fixed. But on to the Sunday games. There wasn't too many Sunday games because of the bye weeks, but I really want to start off with the Ravens and the Lions because Lamar, 21 for 27, 357 passing yards on just 27 attempts. And he had let me just double check. Yeah, he had 3 TDs passing. So I'm gonna ask you this: Can they compete with Kansas City?
if if all the weapons stay healthy, if they're able to get a running back before the trade deadline, they're good. They're gonna be good. And I think if Lamar also stays healthy, he really needs to stay on this level of passing. He needs to continue passing well. Connecting with Mark Andrews, connecting with Bateman, Odell, even connect with these guys, and I think he'll be able to compete honestly, because that's always been his Achilles heel, the passing game, and I think he's really proving us wrong.
Yeah, no, the fact that he just had 27 attempts and that many passing yards, that's like what I kind of envisioned preseason. And it's finally starting to look like it can be like that for real. And overall though, like Mark Andrews balled out too, got 2 nice touchdowns, and on National Tight Ends Day, it was mandatory. It was
Yeah,
mandatory for him to ball out.
yeah, I love Mark Andrews. That's my dude. And I have that stack, dude, in fantasy. That was crazy. That was a good game. That was a
Yeah.
good game.
No. You got a lot of points in that game.
I did.
But the Lions, I think they're still fine. I think that was just a bad game for them. And I think they'll still be the team to beat in the North.
Correct.
And now on to the Buccaneers and Falcons. What happened to Bijan? 1 carry for 3 yards. Uh, a lot of people are mad. A lot of people are mad, not just in fantasy, but people are like, what was going on? Why was Arthur Smith doing this? Because he's done this with Pitts, he's done this with London, and Bijan supposedly it was a headache, but I don't know. I feel like Arthur Smith is like the most weirdest coach in the NFL. And not to mention though that despite him barely carrying what having one carry, the Buccaneers still lost to them because Baker midfield decided to throw a pick late in the game. What's your overall takeaway about that game?
I think that Bijan had the flu or something. He definitely they're obviously, putting it, under the carpet. They don't want to really tell what it is. Because the headache is not gonna stop you from playing at all. He played still, right? I'm pretty sure you still got like one snap
Yeah,
at least.
yeah. No, no. He. I said he got one carry.
One
He got one
carry.
carry for 3 yards.
Oh
Three
my
yards,
god. No,
and it was
yeah,
in the fourth. And to
I
make it better, it was in the fourth quarter.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely not a headache. It's something, I guess, a little bit more serious. Not too serious that we should. I feel like Arthur Smith had a great response. I feel like it's none of our business at the end of the day. It's stuff maybe that he doesn't want to say. What if he has like diarrhea or fucking bloated stomach and he doesn't want to say, I wouldn't want, as a player, if I had something like that, I wouldn't want them to know I'm fucking having the shits. Like I just feel like it's something that maybe Bijan. I feel like it has to be on Bijan. I don't think it's on Arthur Smith.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It was a weird situation, but that sucks for all the people that had parlays on it, and they got screwed over because of that. But on to the another game that honestly I didn't even expect what happened in that game, and it was the Bears and the Raiders. The the Raiders. How how do you give up 30 points to a D2 quarterback first and foremost? And he still had zero TDs, but it was realistically it was 3 men. I mean 4 men. He had three total TDs. I mean how? How?
The Raiders are just trash. Plain and simple, they're trash. They're no QB can save them right now. Devontae Adams also got rejected. The his trade request got rejected. They said we're not trading away Devontae Adams. So that team is under the collapse right now. The only guy that's playing for them right now is Max Crosby, Jacoby Myers, and Devontae Adams. Other than that, that team is fraudulent as hell.
Yeah. And Josh Jacobs this year he does not look the same at all.
I
Adams
knew
in
it.
that game, he huh?
I kind of knew that Josh Jacobs was gonna decline. I had a feeling.
Yeah, he's declined big time. But Devontae Adams in that game still had 7 catches. It's not like they weren't throwing him the ball, but 57 yards, yeah, no, that quarterback was trash. He should not be averaging under 10 yards per catch. But that game overall though, I feel like it just clearly showed that the Raiders 3-3 record was so over projected. It's not they're not a 500 team. They're not. And the best for the Bears though, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens with them in week 8 because they're facing another team that's kind of like them. But we'll talk about that more later.
Fields might
Um,
come back though soon, but we'll see.
yeah. If Fields comes back in week 8, that would be very interesting. But I think he's actually doubtful, if I remember
He
reading.
is. He is. Yes, he is.
Yeah,
But he might come back in 2 weeks.
yeah. But on to the Commanders and the Giants. Another mid off. Tyrod Taylor looked good again, though. I will give him that. 18 for 29, 279, and 2 TDs. Waller also balled out on National Tight Ends Day. Pretty much had a 100 yards and a receiving TD. And I'm starting to wonder whether or not the Giants are starting to realize that Daniel Jones was a fuck up in terms of their deal they gave him because literally the backup QB has made that team look livelier.
You do know why, right?
Why? What?
Why Tyrod Taylor is kind of doing really well right now?
I wonder why.
Because Brian Dable was his offensive coordinator in Buffalo. So there's a
Yeah, they're
connection. There's a connection. So I feel like Tyrod Taylor really just fit into that same system and was like, okay, I'm ready to go. And the man has done more than Daniel Jones has done in a whole season in this season. He's done it in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. He's doing better than Daniel Jones. I think that I don't know. The Giants, they messed up. Daniel Jones was not worth. We both said it. We said that Daniel Jones was not worth that contract. We both said
yeah,
Saquon was definitely worth more than that. I feel bad for Saquon. If honestly, I think he did request a trade. I might be wrong though, but if I'm the Giants, let the man go, man. He's not gonna do anything with. I mean, let Saquon walk, please, because the poor guy does not deserve it. They fucked up with Daniel Jones.
Yeah, they definitely are in a bad situation right now, and as for Giants overall, that game was good for them, but yeah, no, it's very bad. It's very bad over there. The defense has definitely improved though.
It has
On
definitely.
but on to the I would say the most craziest matchup of the week because you know we all expected Buffalo to go to New England and just absolutely lay the claps on the Patriots. But it didn't happen. Literally, the Patriots, all of a sudden, it's like Josh Allen had two TDs, but he had a horrible pick. And the Patriots just looked like the Bills. The Patriots looked like the Bills. Mac Jones had 25 for 30 and almost 300 passing yards and two passing TDs. Not to mention that he literally essentially walked it off on a horrible gritty with Mike Gesicki. So it, it's an up and down season for the Bills. And if I got to be honest, I think the Dolphins got that division in the bag. But I can't believe the Bills lost to the Patriots first and foremost.
You see, this is why the narrative about Bill Belichick getting fired is not gonna it's not gonna happen because there's things like this, you know. Bill Belichick pulls it out of his ass. Mac Jones balls out. Kendrick Bourne was going crazy. Like, bro, and Gasecki with the last minute touchdown, like, the Patriots really gave the Bills some trouble, man. That's insane. And like you
Yeah,
said, and
big time.
like yeah, and like you said, that I think the Dolphins are probably gonna walk away with this division, which I kind of projected. No, 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 no. I had the Bills, but I didn't think the Dolphins were gonna fall off.
I thought the Dolphins were in first preseason. I thought they'd be the first place team.
I
So
don't
I
believe
feel
you. You put the Jets.
oh no, oh yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
put the Jets, man. Come on.
Yeah, you're right, you're right. I did. I
You had the
forgot about
Dolphins
the
third. You had the Dolphins third.
I did. But I had them as the same I know I had them and the Bills the same record. I
Oh,
did.
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember
you
that.
did. You did.
I did. But nah, that game was hilarious though. I low key was laughing when I saw the gritty because I'm like, no, bro. Josh Allen really just lost to that. But overall,
National Tight End Day, man.
yeah, yeah. But overall, let's go to the last morning game, the last game of that first window that I feel like was the best one. It was the Colts and the Browns, and too much happened in that game. I mean, to Cliff note it, Deshaun gets hurt, and Indy has four costly turnovers. Pretty much all of them were caused by Myles Garrett and Gardner Minshew fumbling the ball. And then freaking Cleveland also had a couple of bad turnovers. But, Minshew still balled out despite fumbling the ball consistently. He still had over 300 passing yards in just 23 attempts. He had four total touchdowns, two passing, two rushing. It was a still like it was a mixed bag for Gardner Minshew.
I watched this game. I actually did. I was like, let me watch this game. Maybe it might be interesting. And since I have Michael Pittman and Gardner Minshew, I was like, I need these guys to ball out somehow. And they had that lucky touchdown, that 70 something yard.
It was like
Uh
80 yards. Yeah.
yeah, it was a lucky touchdown because the Cleveland D-backs couldn't tackle Pittman, so he just ran it into the end zone. But yeah, Minshew still balled out. He's just a little shaky with the turnovers, but overall he looked all right, composed. Like you said, Myles Garrett was dominating. I was like, that's one of my favorite players in the game right now, and yeah, that guy balled out. I will say there's one thing you didn't touch on, and there were some horrible ref calls. There were some horrible ref
Oh, in the
calls.
end, yeah, for
Yes,
against Indy, huh?
yes, there was some
Yes, yes. I remember.
horrible. Yeah, they were saying so there was a throw that I think I forgot what the name of the backup was called. I forgot his name.
You talking about the Browns player or the Colts
Browns.
player?
Browns.
PJ Walker, or you talking about the quarterback, right?
Yeah, PJ Walker. So PJ Walker, he threw a pass, right? He throws a pass and it goes way over the end zone, way over the end
Yeah.
zone, and there was some contact. But I've always felt like the rule was that if it's way out of reach that the guy can't catch it no more, then it shouldn't be called a penalty there. But they called a penalty and they basically gave him the free touchdown there.
Yeah, I mean that game was pretty. It was pretty crazy. Like injuries, turnovers, and that call. And supposedly, like the NFL came out later apologizing for that call, like essentially saying the refs messed up. So realistically, that game probably should have been Indies. It really
Pat,
should
Mc,
have probably been Indies.
Pat McAfee was pissed. He was pissed.
I watched it.
He was roasting the hell out of the referees, man. Like it's bad. They need
Yeah.
I haven't seen this many bad calls in a while. Not gonna lie.
Are you talking about in general for that game?
In general, I think
Mm.
this whole season there's been some questionable plays, a lot of questionable calls, especially
I
roughing the
mean,
passer. That's always been the problem, roughing the passer.
I feel like the roughing the passer hasn't been as bad this season, but this past weekend there was some questionable calls
Yep.
for sure, not just in that game. And but on to the later afternoon games, the Cardinals and Seahawks. Just briefly want to mention that I think it begs the question after what happened. Is JSN season here? You know, had 4 catches, 63 yards, 1 TD. DK was out though. DK was out, sadly. So at the same time, I don't know if he's really here or not, but I want to ask what you feel.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm very happy because I'm a JSN truther, Ohio State Buckeye fan, and he really looked good out there, dude. He really looked explosive. He was catching everything. Caught his first touchdown, which was 22 yards. So yeah, this man has all the skills and abilities to be the next man up for the Seahawks. If DK walks, if Lockett leaves, retires, JSN got that job secured, and JSN is a star in the making.
Realistically, I think DK actually has a couple years left because I remember he had a little extension, but I don't know how much Lockett has left. But I think Lockett's gonna be gone soon
Yes,
for
I
sure.
I agree.
But onto the Steelers and the Rams. You know, as a Rams fan, I was pretty disappointed with the result. But you know, Pickens and Johnson, they made us look like trash. They had over 180 yards overall combined. Pickens had like 107 yards on 5 catches. Their connection between him and Pickett is real. And it seems like Matt Canada is finally starting to get his head out of his ass. And he's starting to realize, maybe I should start targeting Pickett's downfield. But not to mention, though, that Puka still went off. 8 catches, 154 yards. And, you know, overall, that game was pretty good. It was still intense. But I do feel like, just like talking about the refs again, you know, that fourth down that Kenny Pickett was running, you know, I think he was short. And the refs, you know, they reviewed it, they did all this and that, and they pretty much said that Kenny Pickett, you know, got the first down and the game was over. So I didn't like the way that game ended, and overall, I think this game pretty much showed that the Steelers and the Rams are both actually probably some decent teams overall. Though I mean, the Steelers are 4-2, and I think at this point, like they really can compete for a playoff spot at minimum.
I 100% agree. I couldn't watch this game because I had some things going on at the time. I had some obligations, so I couldn't watch it. I would have watched it for sure. Puka, like you said, balled out. But the thing I really wanted to really talk about was that Cooper Cup was quiet the whole game. Quiet. He didn't do much, and I feel
I
like that's what really cost them the game a bit. Is not having Cooper Cup involved.
I do think at this point the Rams view Cooper Cup and Puka Nacua as 1A and 1B because I remember seeing that ever since Cup has come back, Puka has actually still had more targets. So it's really crazy to sit there and think about that. But Cooper Cup, I still think he's a very good receiver. But there's going to be a little bit of a dud issue now because of Puka, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like you got if the guy's keeping them produce, you can't just stop him now. I feel that's what it is. Like you
Yeah,
got to keep the hot hand at like you need to keep him going because he's at a remarkable pace. He's definitely gonna. Hey man, I'm just saying that those rookie numbers, rookie records are probably if Puka keeps continuing doing this, man, it's looking like he's gonna shatter it. But I don't know if Cooper Cup is gonna. I don't know if Cooper Cup is gonna stay at this. I think he still has some good games in him, but I feel like you kind of can't limit Puka. You know, Puka's really shown that he's that guy. Um he's definitely a, a bit young. He's obviously younger. He's more, you know, I guess agile, more speedy,
Shifty. Yeah.
speedy. So I feel like he provides a little bit more than Cooper Cup right now.
Yeah, he's 8 years younger than Cup. He's born in 2001, just like us. How time goes by.
What are we
But
doing with our lives?
we're out here talking about them, talking about all these guys. But,
Yeah.
I'll be honest though, I feel like the most interesting game was the Packers and Broncos. I feel like that game was pretty interesting. I feel like it was very interesting, actually. The way it ended, Jordan Love had a very, very bad pick. But that's actually not what I really wanted to talk about. What I want to talk about was Kareem Jackson for the hit he laid on Musgrove, and he got suspended for 4 games. At this point, I'm starting to wonder: is football really just becoming softer? I really see Kareem Jackson's hit, and like, yes, it's clear that he wanted to pop him, but I don't think he wanted to, like, obviously, like, lay him out and just absolutely just injure. Like, he's not out for blood, in my opinion. He just wanted to give him a good hit.
Well, I mean, his suspension got it got what do you call it? It got reduced. It got reduced. It's
Mm-hmm.
from I think it got reduced to 2 games now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But man, here we go again. The Green Bay Packers losing. Losing. Oh man. Jordan Love, what happened, man? You know, I always keep thinking that one day the Packers are gonna be back, that the Packers are gonna be in the playoff contention, but my projections, what I don't get why I'm disappointed. I projected this team to be pretty bad. I predicted this team to be third in the AFC and the NFC North. I predicted Jordan Love not to be that guy immediately. I predicted the offense not to be the same. But what I didn't predict is for Matt LaFleur to completely throw these games continuously. The defense continue to be horrendous. I do feel bad because our key defensive players are hurt. Like Eric Stokes came back and he's on the IR again. Like, man, we can't catch a break. This team is cooked. The Packers are cooked, and I don't know what to do. I kind of now am kind of thankful I'm not going in November to watch them because I'm like, fuck, the product they're showing is bad. It's embarrassing and it
Yeah, yeah,
sucks. It
yeah.
sucks.
When I go and I see my team beat your team, you're not gonna hear the end of it. You're not gonna hear the end of it. You're lucky. You're not gonna go see your team lose. You're lucky. It's a blessing, really, for you, because if you were there, you would be hearing it. I'd probably be the only Rams fan there, but you know, at the end of the day, you just gotta embrace it. You just gotta embrace the losing. You gotta embrace the darkness. Now you gotta know how I felt last year. You feel me? All these injuries, all this midness.
Well, I'll be laughing even more if we win at this point because we have nothing to offer against you guys. You guys have a more explosive team. You guys have explosive players, and we don't have anything. Aaron Jones is not the same right now. Dylan is mediocre. The only guy that I actually really like is uh you see, I can't even remember his name. Um Dubs.
Bro,
Um
the
the
receiver,
the other receiver. I forget what his name is.
87
Yes.
Dubs.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the other receiver, the other receiver, the rookie. I forgot what his
Mm.
name was. Whatever. But what I'm trying to say is that this team doesn't have an identity. Jordan Love is not the guy that Aaron Jones. He's not even half the guy that Aaron Rodgers was. I hate this team, man.
Yeah, I mean the stats for him are inflated right now. Those stats don't mean nothing. He's really just. I think the coaching is good. It's just the players and the injuries. But
Can we trade?
overall, I mean, losing to the Broncos is a bad sighting for you guys
Could
for
we
sure.
trade? Could we trade for Kirk Cousins? Could we trade
oh,
Aaron
oh
Jones,
man, buddy. Oh man,
Watson, and Jordan Love for Kirk Cousins, please? Because we
the
need
GM,
God.
you're down bad. But on to the last late afternoon game between the Chiefs and the Chargers. Chargers scored 0 in the second half. That's really why I want to start off with this game. 0. Chiefs defense looks very good right now. And Mahomes, 32 for 42, 424 passing yards, 4 TDs. Kelsey, still looking very good. 12 catches, 179 yards, 1 TD. Do you think Taylor Swift helps with Kelsey's performances?
Are you serious?
What? I mean, she was there.
Yeah, but bro, how many years has Kelsey been dominant? How many years has Kelsey been tight end one? How many years has Kelsey broken records? You can't tell me that one person just automatically just changed everything.
Well, I mean, in the game, she's not there though. He hasn't been that great. He hasn't been that great. Like, but when she was
Yeah, he
there,
was dealing with an injury. He had a foot injury. Do you remember that?
I remember that against the Vikings. But actually, yeah, he didn't actually didn't play game one. I forgot.
Yes.
You know
Like
what? Well, but I still believe that he gets a little bit of a adrenaline seeing her in the suites. If you get what I'm saying.
Kelsey's tight end one. No one can change my mind. Everyone's was naysaying, saying that Laporta, saying that other guys were number one. Hell no. Get the hell
Who
out of
who
here.
was saying that? Who was saying that?
A fellow friend.
Whoever said that is on crack.
Because
But
Kelsey is tight end one and is showing us why you should draft them in the first round next year. Not in the
sheesh.
first round. Yeah, yeah.
I do think he can still be. I do. Yeah, he's definitely playing that at that
Tight,
value.
tight ends play forever. Tight ends play forever, if we're being
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
So give him like maybe two more years, maybe, and then maybe he can run out of his prime.
Yeah,
But
maybe 2 more years.
let me talk on the Chargers. Kellen Moore, you are now the Chargers head coach because Brandon Staley is stupid. Brandon Staley is horrendous. He needs to get the fuck out of there. If I was the owner of the Chargers and I had a brain, I would have left his ass in the fucking airport because damn man, Brandon Staley sucks ass. He's ass when I tell you, man.
Yeah,
They're
nah. I
waste
mean,
they're
he
waste
bent over.
hold on. They wasted Philip Rivers' career. Now they're gonna waste Justin Herbert's career. They need to fix their shit. Or else you're gonna get a Drew Brees. Drew Brees made it out. He made it out of the mud. He left before it went to a shit show in San Diego. So props to Drew Brees. I feel bad for Philip, but Justin Herbert, man, you need to make some pressure. You're the star of the team. You need to add pressure on that ownership to get you a coach.
I don't know. I feel like obviously Staley is sometimes a little mentally challenged with some of the stuff he does, but so overall though that game, yeah, I mean the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are the team to beat right now, and I think as for the Chargers, yeah, they might actually miss the playoffs, and that's not good. That's not good for them. But one more quick thing on that game. I don't know if you saw, but like I'm pretty sure you've seen that Chargers fan that was shown in like ESPN and all that. She was at the game against the Chiefs, and she was wearing a Buffalo Wild Wings hat. I don't know if you saw that too, but do you think she's just a plant by the NFL, or you think she's actually a real Chargers fan?
Let me start by saying this is the only bright spot for the Chargers right now. No, I'm just playing. That's a plant, bro. You can't tell me that's not a plant. What the hell is I don't know. I feel like that Monday Night Football game just seemed was Monday Night Football, right? It was a Monday Night
Yeah,
Football.
yeah.
It was a little suspicious how they kept showing her after like every play. And now that she got her sponsorship and they put her on like the first row for the Chargers Chiefs game, like come on, man. Like it's just weird to me. Like yeah, I don't
It's so weird.
and then they got her on the Pat McAfee show one day after. Like, bro, like, come on now. Something's not right.
No,
Something's
yeah,
off.
yeah. Like, how does a regular fan all of a sudden get to connect with Pat McAfee the next day?
Yeah. I don't.
That is a little weird.
It is. It is.
But overall, that game there's a lot to digest, and I do think right now the Chiefs are the team to beat. But on to the next game though, because this Sunday night game was also a little interesting. You know, it was Eagles and Dolphins, 2-5-1 teams. And first thing that stood out to me is that the refs called no penalties on the Eagles and 10 on the Dolphins. And like I said, in this game specifically, I remember there was a roughing the passer on Jalen Hurts, and it clearly did not look like that. And not to mention though, AJ Brown though he made that secondary his daddy. I mean his son, not his daddy, his son. Uh, 10 catches, 137 yards, one TD. The Dolphins for sure need Jalen Ramsey back because that was a embarrassment for the secondary for the Miami.
Yeah, Miami disappointed this game. I thought it was going to be more of a shootout. I thought Tyreek Hill and Waddle were gonna go off. I thought it was gonna be like a battle between that wide receiver core and the other wide receiver core, and it didn't turn out to be the same. I feel like the Dolphins disappointed, but it's the Eagles defense. The Eagles defense is pretty dominant, but it I mean, I said I didn't watch the game for me to tell if there was some bias, to tell if there was some possible, favoritism. But I do feel like the Eagles are another team to beat, and it's primed for it to happen again. But we'll talk about that, after the next game.
Yeah, yeah. But I will also want to say though, the Eagles did get Kevin Byard, the safety. That's a big need for them for sure. Place Chauncey Garner Johnson, that's a big deal for them. So I do think they've definitely gotten themselves closer to the Chiefs because right now I have the Chiefs at number one. Now for sure I have the Eagles at two.
They got Kevin Byard, right?
Yeah, the safety.
Mhm.
But now I have the Niners at three because of what happened on Monday Night Football. You see, the Niners they lost again, and Brock Purdy had two bad interceptions in the fourth quarter. Overall, before that though, he was fine. Before that, and not to mention though that CMC still got two TDs despite playing through injury. He's a dog. But they really lost the Vikings without Justin Jefferson. And Jordan Addison made that corner absolutely his son on that one TD. I just had to say it. Like just the way he just grabbed that ball, he made him his son. He had 7 catches and over 100 receiving yards, two TDs, and I'm proud of the USC product. But overall, no, that Niners team, yeah, they're looking like the typical Niners, having injuries. And now they're claiming, oh, Brock Purdy has a concussion. I mean, maybe that can explain the two picks because, well, specifically the first one, especially because I was like, what the heck is he throwing to? But overall, that was a crazy game. That was a crazy game for sure.
Yeah, and when I saw the score, when I kept looking at the score, I was like, no way the Vikings are actually gonna win. Like, there's no way the Vikings are gonna win this game and beat the 49ers. And it happened. Like you said, Jordan Anderson was cooking. He cooked the hell out of that corner. And Brock Purdy had one of maybe his worst game as a 49er. CMC has to continue, at least keeping this team alive. And I mean, what I gotta say is Addison's definitely the rookie of the year front runner, if I'm being honest. Sorry, but with Achin, going down, I think he's definitely up there for offensive rookie of the year. And I mean, the Vikings just keep winning. What can I say, man? The Vikings just keep winning, and I'm disappointed. I feel like the Kirk Cousins sweepstakes are not going to go anywhere. At this point, the Vikings might have a chance at the wild card if they're beating the Niners.
Yeah, it's crazy how 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we were confident that the Kirk Cousins deal in Minnesota was gonna conclude. Now all of a sudden they're 3-4, and I think they'll be 4-4 after this weekend in Lambeau, if I'm being honest, because the way the Packers look right now is not looking good. So if they're 4-4, all of a sudden we're talking about like for sure Justin Jefferson's coming back after week 9 because he could come back week 10, and for sure, the Vikings can make the playoffs after if they go 4-4. which I think is gonna happen. No offense.
Screw you.
But that pretty much concludes this episode. I mean, I can't wait for week 8. I can't wait to see how the Rams square up against the Cowboys as a Rams fan. I don't know what to expect because the NFL is just so unpredictable. Any last remarks?
I will say that if you guys do beat the Cowboys, I will be kind of happy. But this is gonna be a great slate of games. No one's on bye week. A lot of good games, divisional games. I think what I want to ask you, I'm gonna answer and then I ask you is like, what are you most excited for? What are you most excited to see? What team are you most excited to see back? Because I think I want to see the Texans. I want to see how they do after the bye. Is this the run? Is this the time to take the next leap?
I feel like I'm most excited for the what's gonna happen in San Fran. Between the Niners and the Bengals because a 3-3 team and the Bengals. And then a team that's kind of struggling right now all of a sudden in the Niners. You know, two teams that were expected to be contenders. And I still think the Niners are still right there, obviously, but the Bengals are not fighting for their lives. So, will Joe Burrow start looking the same again? Will he start freaking absolutely obliterating secondaries again? That's the real thing I want to see for sure. And like I said, I want to see my team against the Cowboys because the Cowboys are a very up and down team, and I want to see if we can make them look like a college team. I want to see if we can absolutely embarrass them. I want to see if we can absolutely make them question why they chose the NFL.
That doesn't make sense. I
I'm
would
just being
say why they chose.
sarcastic.
I would say why they chose Dak Prescott. That would be a question. Do they play in LA or in Dallas?
Dallas. We're
Okay, that's
playing in the 10 a.m. California
I might
late.
watch that. I might watch that. Anyways,
I'm
yeah, great
watching.
episode. I'm back. There was some things going on last week, and I couldn't film in person. But I filmed that takes the horrible takes I have now because all that's probably obliterated now. But I'm happy to be back.
Sounds good, bro. Next week when week 8 happens, we'll see. We'll see what happens with these teams, and I feel like next week is gonna be a good week still. I mean, everyone's playing, and especially like I said, the Bengals and the Niners, that game especially, I'm paying attention to that one big time.
Yep, for sure.
But make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and thank you guys for watching. And Lopez, your team sucks.